Hello, hello, and welcome to another video project. This one is going to be all about my process for how I make outfits for VR chat characters as well as VTubing characters. Any good project starts off with a nice sip of coffee. So today, helping me with this will be the lovely Gatomon. This model was not one that I made myself, but one that I found that I have purchased online, but will do nicely nonetheless. So the first thing I always do is Shift A to add a new object to the scene, and we want to start off with a plane. Just a regular old plane. This will be a very trusted ally. So you want to R to rotate it, numpad 90 to rotate it 90 degrees, or sorry, R to rotate it, X on the X-axis, and then 90 to rotate it 90 degrees. Then we want to shrink it down, keep it still like in the same Y and axes, so you don't touch any buttons there. And then you want to G and press Z to keep it all aligned to the Z axis, and then just move it up to roughly where you want your shirt. A little bit of Y, G, Y, bring it out a little bit, and scale it down just a little bit more. Okay, that looks like a good place to start. Into edit mode, first thing we want to do is Control R to make a loop cut, and then delete these two vertices. After that, we want to go into generate, and we want to both make a mirror modifier, enable clipping, and we want to add a subdivision surface modifier as well. Put the viewport at 2 so that way we see exactly what it's doing. And after that, you might want to align this a little bit better. Probably about here-ish. Yeah, let's start it off there. Okay. Line this so that it kind of fits. This is a fiddly process, and there are many, many ways to make outfits and to make clothing in Blender. This is just the method that just made the most sense to me. Alright, once we kind of got this in place, probably move this down just a smidge. Hold this back out a little. Okay, that's about right. What we want to do is create a wraparound, and by that I mean we just slowly move around the model, take these two, go into line mode here, and just slowly extend things out to wrap around the model. And once you get to about this point, should just bring it over and it'll merge together to make a wrapped around like little belt almost. Now, once we've gotten to that point, we want to take each individual vertices and kind of bring them a little bit closer to the body here. It's a bit of a fiddly process, but as I've said, it makes the most sense to me. And now we do the same for the bottom vertices. Just bringing them in. try to keep them a little bit more lined up. If you find you can't quite get them done without clipping, you can add more loop cuts. Just try to hold off making as many, like too many of those. Once we kind of get a bit of the shape that we want here, we can alt-click, scale with S, Z, and then 0 on the numpad to align all of the vertices so that we get a nice, straight, kind of square-ish shape happening. Do this again. Okay. Now that we've got this done, we need to just extend this vertices up a little bit, or extend this a little bit further up. So what you want to do is alt-click again on the top vertices to select all of this top row here. Then E to extrude, Z for that axis, and then move it up. And you just want to make sure it's all nice and aligned. And do the same process again. Line up all the vertices with the body. If there is some bits of your mesh clipping, it won't matter too much because of our next process. Like once we've finished kind of blocking out the shape of the shirt, it should be relatively, it'll be a lot easier to fix then. Alright, now to try and make the general sleeve, the sleeve of the shirt. Blah, I can speak. So, for this is a little bit tricky, but this is the process I use. You just extrude, try and get something about halfway into the armpit, and then around, just like that. And then after that, you want to do another wrap around the arm. So just slowly make your way around using the extend tool to make a nice wrap around. And then when you get about here, you can just hit these two lines and hit F to fill in. Pop that vertices out a bit. We can realign everything with the same way we did the Z axes by just hitting scale, X, oh, that's Z. Scale, X, there, just like that. Oh, I misclicked something there. And then after that, our process is more or less just slowly creeping up the shirt. So we want to merge these. Bring this up. And then just keep working at it like this. I will fast forward here until I'm in a little bit more of a complete state and I can explain things better. Okay, welcome back. As far as making the kind of neck hole area goes, this is going to be a little bit tricky to kind of show off with this model, mainly because, well, she has a very large head and a very small upper torso here. But for the most part, all you're going to be doing is just pretty much moving these vertices to try and make it look more like a shirt collar. If there's a little bit of clipping, as you can see here, you can always change viewpoint to see a little better. Don't worry too much about it, because a lot of that will be fixed in the next part that we do. But for the most part, we've got a nice little shirt here for our character. We can even extend the sleeve out a little further too, by just doing E, X, and out. Just like that. But let's say we wanted to make this shirt a little bit longer and have like a split in it. So we can just do this. We can first, let's unselect the first vertices here, just so we can get all the other parts done first. Go back into this view, just extend it down, and then scale it out. Move all the vertices as you see fit. And then for this split in the shirt, what we want to do is turn off clipping and then just bring this down. And you can already see there's a bit of a split here, but how do we make that look kind of a little better? Well, with the way that subdivision works, the more lines you have in an area, the more pronounced that area is going to be. So the way that I do this anyway, is to do a loop cut and then just bring it in nice and close to that other vertice. You see how that's made that area look a lot sharper? It also affects the center here too, but again, we can fix that in our next step. So that would be pretty much it. After that, it's just about moving vertices and adjusting things from here as you see fit, making things look a little nicer, a little bit more what you want. I'm gonna keep that split in the shirt. So with our next step, what we want to do is now apply all of these modifiers. So you go back into object mode. Oops. Apply. Apply. And now by applying both the mirror, we have the left side already done, and the subdivision, we now have a lot more data to work with here. All of these vertices that we can play around with. And that helps with sculpt mode, which is going to be our next thing. So sculpt mode is great for cleaning up a lot of the little mistakes and things like that that have shown up in our blocking out phase. And the two tools that we're going to be using the most are this tool here, grab, and this one, the smooth tool. So what we want to do first is grab any little vertices like this, increase our radius up a little bit, and then just grab them, little click, pull it out a little, grab it, click, and pull it out. And to make this sharper line kind of go away, we just grab the smooth tool, and then just tap it out, just quick little taps. If it starts clipping again, or you start to see an effect you don't want, just don't be afraid to Control Z. Do this, and you just more or less just work at it like this. And that's pretty much it for how to make a t-shirt, more or less. But you may be asking, how do I get rid of all this grid effect? Well, all you have to do, Object, Shade Smooth. And there you have it. Now let's say you wanted to apply this to your model. So this is the easiest way I know how to do it. There are much better ways to do it, as I'm sure, but this is the way I know how. So first we want to rename it to something like c.shirt, because Blender automatically keeps everything alphabetized. So we do that, we know exactly where it is. It's under C for shirt, and we called it shirt. So you want two modifiers for this one. We want file or edit data transfer, and we want to take the body. We want to have replace. All of this should be relatively the same, but we want vertex data and vertex groups selected, and then hit generate data layers, and then click apply. After that, you want to go into deform, armature, and select your armature. Now this should be applied to our model already, and should move with our skeleton, but there's always a little bit of weirdness when it comes to this. So we want to check and make sure everything is applied correctly. So what we do is we go under, select the armature. Am I stuck here? And go into pose mode. Now if we select a bone, just hit R to rotate, we can see there is a little bit of weirdness here, and this is where weight painting comes in. So in Blender, this is a pretty easy thing to kind of do. I want to go back into object mode, select the armature, and then control click the shirt and go down into weight paint. Now holding Alt should select the bone, and we want to just blur this a little bit and just slowly kind of tap things out. You can select the bone and then rotate it, and then just slowly kind of clean things up. This is another kind of fiddly process. Like you can see in here, this isn't quite right. If we blur this a little, maybe not that well, so we'll do this, go into the brush, weight down, and then just kind of fiddle around until you see things looking a little better. And then do this exact same thing on the other side. Blur this a little, make it so that things kind of turn a little nicer. And then use the weight there. And always change the radius of your brush to get in there a little bit nicer. There is always going to be a point where you just kind of say, fuck it, it's good enough. At least in my experience. And if you need to, you can always go back into sculpt mode and then just... Oh, I forgot to mention something. In sculpt mode, to make things a little easier on yourself, on this little butterfly icon up here, you can hit X to mirror your brush. So if you do, whatever you do on one side, you do to the other. So if there's like clipping issues over on both sides, you can just use the grab tool, pull that out, and be like, oh, I don't like that, and then just smooth it back out, or what have you. And there's also going to be some points where I found just by messing with weight paints that you just need more, like whatever fabric to be just further away from the body, so you can just go back into sculpt mode, pull it back, pull whatever you need to pull, and then just flop right back into weight paint. Like you can already see there's some bits here in this shirt. So we might want to go into sculpt, pull this up a little, change our viewport to see if we got them all, etc, etc. It's all just fiddling and working with things and then going from there. And that'll be all I've got. So, I hope this has been informative for you, or at least interesting, if nothing else. So, until next time, thanks for watching, and so long, and goodbye.